Hey everybody, Christian West here. I'm glad that you tuned in to What Would You Do? Welcome to the series of videos where Joe and I ask each other critical questions from the executive protection industry. If you like what you see, click here, like and subscribe. And if you have questions that you want us to answer or try to find a solution to, send them to us via email, text. You can find us on social media. I'm sure you have ideas, or you can post them here and we'll play along and take your question. So, welcome to What Would You Do? Season 2.
All right, Christian. So here's one that comes up a lot with companies working for clients and then people working for companies. So let's say, just to put it in context, let's say you're working for my company, and I present you with a non-disclosure agreement, an NDA. And without getting too much context into it, you get that NDA, say in an email. What do you do from there? What do you do when you get an NDA? What do you think about? What do you review? What do you think?
Well, it's one of those things where, depending on who you are, I usually say most NDAs I get presented with, I don't have a choice. Because if I don't want to sign it, I probably don't get the job, right? So it's one of those things you can spend $1 million in legal fees to actually figure it out. And I think you should maybe do that once so you figure out what a non-disclosure agreement actually says. And besides that, I try to read it as much as I can. One of the things I've done lately is actually upload it to ChatGPT and get it to give me the bullet points on it, which actually dumbs it down so even I can get it. But in general, I try to read it, figure out what it says, but actually sign it, right?
Yeah.
Because I don't have a problem not breaking confidentiality with any of my clients. I never have, and I hope I never will. And I actually feel like if I don't get if I don't get an NDA from somebody, I should send one to them.
Right.
There should be some kind of a non-disclosure relationship. Yeah. What do you think?
Yeah, I'm with you. And so just a couple of things that come to mind is the last point that you made there is what a lot of people refer to as an MNDA, which is a mutual non-disclosure agreement. So that one is just something to think about. Is it titled that way, or is it in the NDA that it's mutual? So it goes both ways, right? So that's something to consider. I see that more with companies than clients. Clients typically have a very one-sided NDA.
Yeah.
We can't talk about their stuff. When I work for companies, they typically send a MNDA, which is a mutual non-disclosure. We have a company-to-company relationship, perhaps, and it's a mutual non-disclosure. So that's one thing. When I throw it into AI to give me some bullet points and summary, one of the things I ask it for is I ask it to look for any non-compete language.
Yeah.
Because a lot of times, I should say a lot of times, seldomly, I should say, it seldomly happened a few times, people will actually put non-compete language into an NDA, which is not correct. That shouldn't be the way it is, but sometimes it is in there. It actually has a non-compete clause in their NDA. So I want to make sure that's not in there. And when I have brought that up, it hasn't been a problem. They actually didn't even know it was in there. It was the person that was given it to give it to me to have me sign it. And they were like, yeah, that shouldn't be in there. So they took it out. So that's one thing. And then the last thing I tend to look at is the term. So sometimes they'll get crazy and they'll put 10 years or something like that. Typical timeline for an NDA is 2 years, up to 5 years, depending on the state that it's valid in. But if they put like a 10-year NDA or something,
I've also seen where they say it's valid worldwide, which is the same.
It's just kind of silly.
Yeah.
But all in all, I think to your point, you're going to sign it or not, and if you don't sign it, it's going to cause more problems. And really, what it comes down to is it's more of a gentleman's agreement, to be honest.
It is.
Because if you break an NDA, what is that actually? What? Yeah, they have a recourse to now go after you legally, perhaps, but you've broken it, and you can't take that back. It's like a round. Once you shoot it off, you can't take it back. So if you break an NDA, and guys, and for everyone listening, I would just say, you just ruined yourself for the industry if you break an NDA.
Yeah.
Right. So.
But there's also another thing to think about now that we talk about NDAs, and that is that it's also your job, if you're a vendor or a provider, to make sure that the people you hire have an NDA with you. right? And maybe not directly with the client,
Right.
right? Because every driver, every EP agent, every vendor that we bring in of any kind should have an NDA for anything that they do. And can we hold them up on everything that's in there? Maybe not.
No.
But at
that's
least we have
part of it.
a document saying that we tried.
Exactly. Yeah. We have got 2 clients that I can think of that they require us to have everybody sign their NDA. But most of my clients, almost all of them, other than those 2 that I can think of, only, say, for instance, I sign the NDA with the client, and then I have to have everybody NDA'd with me.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
And that's fine too, because especially the guys that work for your company, but we just got to remember that everybody we hire on a 1099 or a subcontractor agreement or whatever, they need to be NDA'd as well.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah. A lot to think about. But putting into AI is a good trick. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, hey, I learned from the best.
Yeah.